Hello, 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 hello. Howdy, Tim. Welcome, man. I just barely got going here. I'm going to dive right in with this one. We're going to do today we're going to do a very quick setup on this guitar. Our shop is open until 6 o'clock, so I kind of have a 2-hour time limit. And so I'm not going to talk a whole lot as I normal. Hey, it's great to see you, Tim. Thank you for being here. I've got to stay busy on this one. So what we're going to do, we're going to change the string gauge on a Mexican-made Fender Telecaster. We're going to go from Ernie Ball Super Slinky 9 to 42s. We're going to up the string gauge to a 10 to 46. And I think that this guitar was loaded with 10s to begin with, and we changed them out, and the owner doesn't like them. The gentleman who owns this guitar is a remarkable musician. He's also an instructor at the university here and is a pro audio guru, if you will. And he's somebody that I ask questions to when it comes to that sort of stuff. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do the intonation, the neck relief, the string action, and a new set of 10 gauge strings, and we'll clean her up and make her look a little pretty today. So I'm going to turn some more light on here. Hopefully my camera guy will stay sober today. So here she is, and I'm going to start by just removing the strings, and we'll get moving along here. I'm trying to do this as quickly as I can. And I'm not going to pay a whole lot of attention to the chat today. I may take a moment, depending on how things go, to answer any questions or field any comments. Your comments are always welcome. If you choose to comment, you must be subscribed to my channel. I won't do it any other way, at least not today. And it looks like we're going to clean up the fingerboard a little bit. There's some guck in here where the money, this guy plays everywhere on a guitar, so it's not like he's got the old cowboy cord fret wear. He wears them down everywhere on the fingerboard. He's just a remarkable guitar player and super cool dude. And it looks like he had D'Addario strings on this before. And the way I know that is because of the colored string balls. The ball ends are colored, which that's always a cool. I think these are D'Addario. They might be a DR or something. They're kind of an odd color, or D'Addario changed their colors recently. I don't know. Don't know. We'll get these old things off of here. Now I know that the guitar is set up pretty nicely as it is, so there wasn't really much need for me to play it a bunch before I do work on it. Definitely he put these strings on himself last time. Ouch, that didn't feel good. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Off to the round file. Ball ends. We love balls. Balls on strings are a good thing, unless you have a classical guitar that needs a knot. And then you're not stupid, right? I'm not stupid. No, I'm not stupid. That's a long time family joke. I have a lot of members of, well, not a lot, a lot of friends of my family, and my uncle were all riverboat guys, and my cousin Travis is currently a longshoreman. He could go out in the ocean in the Bering Straits and handle himself well. So being not stupid is not it's not an option in my family. You have to know how to tie knots, which I don't know how to do that real well, but that makes me not stupid. Get it? Okay. Hey, my Sky. Hey, brother. What's happening?
I'm running.
You gotta go to the bank?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. That was the world's greatest, the guy that just I was talking to right there, he's the world's greatest luthier. Yeah. Yeah. Literally the world's greatest luthier. I'd put him up against anybody. Not that it's a competition or anything, but as far as doing good work, that guy, he's one of the few people on earth that I would let work on one of my guitars because I trust him that much, and he knows my expectations of my own work, and guess who I learned that from? So it's great to have a co-worker. I call him my journeyman. Ooh. All right, so the knob wants to. That's not on there real good. I'm going to put a little teeny drop of CA glue on this, just a teeny little spot, just to see if I can get it to stay put a little better. There we go. I'm going to let that dry. And let's clean up the fingerboard and get strings back on this thing right away. I'm just going to use this rag and some good old-fashioned Roncinol lighter fluid, and this is a oh, what do they use? They use lacquer on their fingerboards. Not a fan of that, but oh well. I'm not Fender. And maple fingerboards would really look awful if you didn't put lacquer on them. They'd get all gray and stuff, but I kind of like that look, so I don't mind. We may have to do a little more scrubbing on this. I may have to bust out the old toothbrush. We want to make this look nice. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get the old toothbrush out, clean it up. There's some marks on this guitar that I'd like to try and dirt and debris on this that I'd like to try and clean up. Thanks you all for being here. Yeah, Eileen, hello, Miss Perez. It's great to see you. I hope that everybody watching might learn something today. That's all I do these for, is just to help people who don't live close to me be able to fix their own instruments. We're gonna do this normal routine. This is something that you should probably try to do almost every time you change strings on your instrument, is snug up these nuts on your machine heads. They do work their way loose from tightening and loosening the strings. You just don't want to overdo it. You just barely give them a little cinch up. When they get tight, that's good. I believe this has a 4mm truss rod adjustment. I believe. I could be wrong. It is not a 4mm. It is. We'll see what she's got here. It's a 5mm. Cool. So we'll bust out the old 5mm, and what I'm going to do right now is flatten the neck out. I want to make sure the truss rod turns. Boy, oh, is this one? What is going on? Is this an American? It's Mexican-made Tele, without a metric. Without a metric. I'm going to try a different 4mm just to make sure. I can tell that's not a 4mm though. Yeah, it's not a 5mm. So I usually take the time to do this before I get started working on them. I'll check the truss rod. There we go. Yeah, truss rod's turning just fine. Works great. Feels good. Alright, so let's get our fret leveling, our fingerboard leveling tool out. I've got a Fender scale. So we still have a little bit of neck relief out in the middle, so I'm going to tighten this truss rod. I don't want to put this 4mm away. What's something I always do is get your truss rods all mixed up, or your hex keys all mixed up. So you got metrics mixed in with standards, and then you don't know what you're doing. Alright, so we're going to tighten that a little bit, and it's looking pretty darn close. I am going to give it one more little nudge here. So I'm making sure that the fingerboard is perfectly level before I get started on doing any of the setup work on it. Just making sure it's not back bowed or bowed in the middle at all. And I use the light that I can see under the rule or the level. There we go. That looks freaking perfect. So there we are with that. Let's toothbrush. We're gonna brush the next teeth here today. Time to brush some teeth. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and clean up the whole body of the guitar. We'll use some polish on that. And we will get this neck clean as a whistle. Where's my favorite toothbrush? My favorite toothbrush is right here. And I'm using Simple Green. If you've watched my channel, you've seen this done 100 times. But I want to get all this guck off of the edges of these frets so that it looks nice and shiny when he gets it back. It doesn't have all this guck going on. He uses this guitar playing live, and you know, I like my clients to have really nice clean guitars when they set foot on stage, because people talk, you know, and there's nothing like setting foot on stage and looking like a total pro. So most of the pros have real shiny, beautiful guitars, unless they're Keith Richards. Then they want them as messed up as they can be in most cases. So as you can see, I'm not sparing any time on this. I want to get these frets all the guck off of them, and then we'll run a little bit of polish over the top of them once I get this done. Sometimes I polish them first, sometimes I don't, but I can see that these are looking so much nicer. This one has some guck on it that is really not wanting to cooperate. Now we're talking. Yeah, so this portion of the fingerboard was a little bit dirtier than the rest. So let's see how this looks. Doesn't that look nice? Yeah, there's some guck along the edges of some of these frets that just is not really wanting to come off of there. I have to wonder if the finish hasn't been worn off of the fingerboard. I may not spend a whole lot more time on that. I am, however, going to grab one of my favorite tools, a little razor blade, and see if no. No, these frets have been well, maybe. I just don't want to be digging into this too much. And I'm not seeing myself accomplishing a whole lot by doing this. Yeah. We're going to leave well enough alone with that. That's not that big of a deal. But we will go over it with some of my favorite new polish. So let's do that. Let me get my semi-chrome, and we'll just knock them all down a little bit. There we go. It's just enough to get all the frets nice and clean. I'm just using a piece of old t-shirt material or long johns to do this. And I just did 2 frets, and you can see all the crap that came off of those 2. So this isn't something you have to do every single time you change strings. But if you want your frets to look real shiny and the lights that you're playing under on stage, a really helpful little trick here, because they will get dulled up over time of playing them, for sure. People expect this from my work, so I do it on almost every single guitar that I work on, even if it's just here for a simple string change. You can see this doesn't take long to do, and it really improves the appearance of the frets. So I'll have to go back over this and clean it once again because of all the debris that's left over from smearing all the guck off of the frets, which is no big deal. No big deal. It doesn't take me too long to get through setting up a guitar and changing strings and all that stuff, so this goes a little extra effort. Sometimes we got to do stuff twice, especially if your name's Marshall. You got to do everything twice. It's just my luck. Thank you all for the words of encouragement and support when I was laid up the other day. That was really a super fun experience, and I hope that if you are over 50 and a male that you do the same thing and are able to do the same thing to prevent yourself from catching a disease that you do not want to deal with. I'd say it was fun, but I'd be lying. It wasn't fun. The anesthesia made me get sick, puke sick, but that was about the worst of it. The rest of it, I didn't even know anything was happening. So, there we go. We've got those all cleaned up. Now, we'll hit them again with some Roncinol. Let's see if we can get the Roncinol to take the guck off of here. Sometimes you got to make them look a little worse before they look better, right? Let's see how that does. Sometimes the Roncinol will knock that stuff right off of there in a hurry. Yeah. You just want to get that black smeary look off of there. Use a little bit more, and you see all the guck that comes off of there. Pretty incredible, and that's all the debris that was on those frets that I was able to get off with just a little bit of a semi-chrome polish. As you can see, it only takes a couple minutes to do, and it does a great job on these things. These frets don't need any crowning or leveling. They do have some wear that I can see, but at this point it's not at a level that I would feel comfortable with going, hey, you should really do a fret level and crown. He could probably play this guitar, and he plays a lot, for a couple more years before it's time to really get serious about doing a fret level. But it depends on how much you play. Alright. There we go. Looking good. Looking good. I'm still seeing a little bit of some discoloration down in here. So we're going to go over this section just a little bit more. Again, thanks for joining me if you're here today. And I hope that maybe some of my effort will teach you how to do this sort of stuff to your own guitar, if you can't take it to a luthier or somebody with a lot of experience. Alright, looking good, looking good. Yeah. Grab a polishing rag. That one's a little dusty. Time to open up a new package of cloths here. There we go. All right. Don't those look nice? Pretty cool. Whoop. Knock my tools off onto the floor. Alright, so we'll get you up high here. You can see what I'm up to now. I'm just using some good old 65 polish. And we'll clean off the body of the guitar. Let's see if some of this stuff will buff out of here. It just takes a little bit of time. You can do this obviously when you're changing your own strings on your own guitar, and you should keep fresh strings on your guitar. That is an opinion. It's not a fact, but you should keep fresh strings on your guitar. At least that way they'll sound, your instrument will sound consistent over time. Use the same gauge of strings and the same brand every time you change them, and you don't have to worry too much about breaking strings or having them sound kind of dead, worn out. A lot of people sweat tons when they play guitar. I don't, but the dust and dirt from your fingers will get in there and flatten them out and dull them out, and they just won't sound as bright and alive as they would as with a new set of strings. I can see some other Guck here, just taking the time, make sure he gets a beautiful new guitar when it's all done. He's gonna basically have a brand new guitar when this is all done. This guitar's seen some love. It's got a little ding down here, but it's pretty good shape. If your guitar doesn't have dings in it, it's parked in the garage like your boat, and you've never caught a fish off of it. You've never been skiing off of it, but boy, it sure looks pretty, don't it? Alright, you got to put dings in your guitars. That's just a rule of playing them. I have one brand new guitar. I've had it for 3 days now, and I don't think it has any dings in it yet, so I'm waiting. I'll get that out of the way here soon enough. Alright, so guitar's all clean. The back of this thing, this guy takes really good care of his instruments. He usually, and he keeps his place really tidy, so you know, he's not a typical dude, if you will. You know, us pigs. Although my place, I keep my place pretty set up, man. I don't like having a mess. But I'm getting old. Alright, so we've gotten that all taken care of. She's clean, sparkling frets, and all of that. Let me get this stuff put away, and we'll put some strings on her and start setting her up. Now, I flatten the fingerboard out because that gives me a level playing field to set the guitar up with. When I know I'm changing string gauges, I know I'm going to have to raise and lower the action. I know I'm going to have to adjust the truss rod. So I'll just start with a flat fingerboard and let the strings do what they're going to do, and then adjust from there. Makes sense to me. I know that there's probably a billion other opinions out there on whether or not that's a good idea, and I would love to hear them. If you feel like I'm doing something inappropriate or something that I feel like I'm wasting time, it's not something that I have to do, but I know where I'm starting. How's everybody doing? Mr. Rock, hello. Oscar, we're going from 9s to 10, 9 to 42 to a 10 to 46. We're going from Ernie Ball Super Slinkies to just regular Slinkies. So we're going from the pink package to the green package, just like that. It had pink strings on it, I don't know, 5 minutes ago. Maybe 10 minutes. There we go. Dan Anderson, welcome, man. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is a beautiful color. I love the color on this guitar. And again, you guys, this is a Mexican-made Tele. And personally, I don't care if a guitar is made in America, Japan, Mexico, Yugoslavia, Poland, Canada. Doesn't matter. The only good guitar is one that's set up correctly, and this one will be, and it'll play nicely, and I know that I can adjust these to fit my standards of a setup, and I know this client very well, so I'm very familiar with what he likes to feel when he plays guitar, and it doesn't matter if he's playing a Tele or an SG or a Les Paul, because he owns all of them. So that's kind of, you know, the connection that I have with a lot of my my clients, is that I know them very well, and I know how they play. And I know what they expect. So that's a good thing for me. Gives me kind of an easy, makes my job easier. Hopefully you can see how I'm doing this. If you have questions about how I put strings on a guitar. That's pretty close to A. I think my ear is still working. On the wound strings, 2 wraps. Go through the hole over your wraps. Pull it taut. Grab your string winder and tighten her up. And then we'll go to the G string and the unwound strings. 1, 2, 3 wraps. Use your fingernail to push the string down, put the string through there, pull it taut, give it some tension at the other end. So I'm pulling up on the string right here to keep tension on it, keep those windings tight, and grab your string winder and and I missed the string landing in the saddle. That was kind of weird. I usually don't do that, but heck, I don't walk on water either. Alright. Woohoo! Not a fan of how these saddles are. Yeah, the string's making contact. I'll show you something I don't like about this saddle design, but we'll get to that soon enough. Boy. Alright. Alright. 1, 2. Whoop. I got in a hurry. 3. Over the wraps. Pull it tight. Put some tension on it. Make sure the string's going to land in the saddle. And this one, because I of course rolled sideways on me. Never forget who you're messing with, because if it can go sideways, it will. For me. And these strings will not ever slip on here. It just doesn't happen with string changes like this. 1, 2, 3. This guitar, you're definitely going to have to tune it. That's because the temperature changed, or the weather changed, or your kid grabbed the machine head and turned it, or your dog bumped it, or something like that. But it won't be because of this. Let's see how good my ear is. A little bit sharp. B was perfect. Just I'm going to go ahead and stretch the string. And I'll show you how I do that. I know people will probably not like this, but that's fine. I don't expect to have to take these strings back off of this guitar at any point. And it appears that there's quite a few dudes in the chat that know a lot about what I'm doing here, and that do this kind of work on their own and to their own guitars. So if you've asked a question and somebody offers you an answer, there's a lot of experience here right now. And this is something that I wasn't really a fan of, is the way these strings come over these saddles. The string is, this G string is actually making contact with the spring here, and I'm not I don't like how that works. But I do love the fact that each string is individually intonatable. Did I just make up a word? You can intonate each string. So on a Telecastr, apparently there's not a whole lot of room, so you got to do it. It would be great if they would have used saddles like on a Fender Stratocaster, like a hardtail. I'm not a fan of that. And the other thing is that when I was pulling the strings in here, the strings were able to go in between the saddles, and they got one of them I got wound up, and that was just me not paying attention. But I think they could alter the design of that a little bit, and maybe make it a little more appropriate. All these holes where the screws are passing through the bridge, if they just scooted them over just ever so slightly, it would create an angle back there, but I don't think that would cause a problem. Okay, so we've got good string tension on them. My next step is the neck relief with these strings on here. So we'll check our neck relief and see what's happening. I'm gonna get my glasses out of the way. I don't want to scratch the guy's guitar with my glasses. So I'm using 12 thousandths feeler gauge, and remember that I flattened the fingerboard out before I put strings on it, and guess what? I mean, I did turn the truss rod. You all saw me do that. And where I fret the guitar is right here. Fret the string where this part of the neck can't bend. You're not going to bend it. The truss rod won't do anything. From this point forward, the potential that you can turn that truss rod and this neck can move anywhere out in here is possible. So that's where I check my fret the guitar there, fret it at the first fret with a capo to free up your hand, and look at that. Let me make sure that's pointed at where my neck relief is damn near perfect. It could use, it's probably a little bit low in the neck relief. I'm saying probably 10 thousandths, and I like 12 thousandths on a Telecastr. I'm going to leave it like that for the time being, and we'll start adjusting the string height. Make sure the string height is correct. And right now we are at, we're at 5/64ths on the low E, and we're right at 5/64ths on the A, and we're right at 4/64ths. Now we're above 4/64ths, about 4.5. That's about 4, and that's a little higher than 4. Boy, I might be out of work here, because that's pretty darn good. One thing I do see here is that this one saddle is tilted a little bit. This one's tilted kind of sideways, which I don't like. Let's see, stinky little, I think this is the correct, nope. Where am I? Where's my correct hex key? That's not it. Boy. Wonder, did my hex key vanish? Where are you? There you are. That's got to be the right one. Oh yeah. All right. So I want to level that up, but and the string height at the 17th fret, I measure at the 17th fret on a Fender guitar. It's at it's just above 4/64, and I want it to be right at 4/64. So I'm going to lower the outer. I think I am. Holy smokes, that thing's tight. I'm dripping. Let's see. Is that going to turn? Come on, baby. Yeah, there we go. Woohoo! That just rolled right over. This set screw is really tight on here, which is kind of unusual. It's almost like that thing got cross-threaded or something, but now I'm going to check it. And now we're hitting right on 4/64, so I'm liking that. That one's at 4. That one's a little bit high. I'm going to drop this G string down just a hair. When I say that, I mean just a hair. Did I grab the wrong? There we go. So I'm going to go a half a turn. And I'm just using the Allen key or the hex key to turn it a half a turn. So we've lowered that string. That's looking perfect. That was a tiny little move, but the D string, I want to raise it ever so slightly. So I'm going to go, all right, that was a quarter turn. I'm going to go a full half turn on this and turn each side the exact same amount. That's looking good. That's looking good. And that's looking good. So at this point, the setup on the guitar, I believe, is really nice. I'm going to have to play it, of course, to make sure we don't have any fret buzz. And I think, I don't know, what am I in, a half an hour into going? About a half an hour. I guess. Hello, Hugh. I just saw Lord Spike Protein. Hello, Jack. What's up, brother? The Falcro. Let's see. Oh, Jampro. I didn't see you, but welcome. Okay, so we're looking really good on the setup. So now, unplugged. I'm going to check this guitar for some fret buzz. So let me have my cameraman adjust my camera for me. He's doing a pretty decent job today, I think. Is he doing all right? So we'll see. It's I believe this neck is a 9.5-inch radius. Checking for fret buzz. Very nice. So far, so good. So I'm hearing a little rattle, and that's from the strings on the headstock. Right, feeling pretty nice to play, very comfortable. So at this point we're going to adjust the intonation on this, and let me clean off. Got a drop of something on this guitar. I hope my nose didn't drip on it. That's probably what it was. Not anymore. I'll take the extra step to make sure this thing is just really super clean as it can be. Beautiful Telecaster, man. It feels really nice to strum around and play some chords on it. I don't own a Tele. You know, it's one guitar that I just have never felt the need for. I love humbuckers and Teles. Why? I don't own one. I can't give you a really good legit reason why. Aside from that, I haven't bought one. There you go. There's a legit reason why. All right, let's intonate this bad boy. And we're almost done, and I'm hoping that the intonation is going to be pretty close. Another thing, I love that the output jack is on the edge of the guitar, or on the side of the guitar. I despise top outputs on guitars. Teles generally don't have that, but SGs and other guitars have that. When I'm doing the intonation setup, I'm using a Peterson strobe tuner. I'm going to put it right here. Hopefully you can see that clearly. And it's a Phillips head driver. Oh, there's something on the back of the neck here that I just noticed. And this is another reason why I keep fingernails on my thumbs, especially. If you run into something like that, you can get it off without messing up the finish on the guitar. So I'm going to go ahead at this point. Oh, I just knocked my polish off of my counter here. Give me a second, I got to go grab that. So I think we're probably less than an hour into this guitar at this point. Probably less than an hour into setting this Tele up, and in fact I'm pretty sure we are. And I had to do something twice, so we're doing okay. Yeah, that's much better. Whatever that was, it was kind of weird. It was like something sticky on it. Go ahead and polish these up a little bit. There we go. Looking good. Looking real good. There we go. That was from the Warriors, the movie The Warriors. All right, let's check our intonation. And when I do the intonation setup, I typically use the neck pickup. Actually, I'm going to use both pickups on this Telecaster, and the volume just cranked. So So we're a little bit sharp. So we're going to flatten that out, and that's expected when you change string gauges on a guitar. You're going to have to adjust the intonation a little bit. I know people are probably screaming, right? You're doing it with string tension on it? Sue me. If this was like a Fender custom shop, Tele, I might loosen the string tension, but I appreciate it when people can see that I care enough to keep my guitar in tune, so you can see the little scratches where the feet move.
You have a super good day there. We'll see you on Saturday. This Saturday or yeah, this Saturday. This Saturday. Really? Good luck here. Yeah, I may be able to do it. I'll see if I can't do it.
Well, that's close enough. We're going to leave that one. G string's a little bit sharp. I'm going to go ahead and move it. And that's about all there is to it. I like to lean on the flat side, especially on the B string. So I'm gonna create a little more distance here. I'd rather have that thing moving on the flat side of the intonation curve, or straight line if you want to call it that. Yeah, that's what I'm liking. It's dead on. And I can see that the E string is definitely very sharp, so we'll bring this back. And I wonder if that happened when that string rolled over. Still showing a little bit sharp. And again, I always lean on the side of being flat when I'm intonating an instrument. Because we bend strings sharp. We can't fret a note and make it flatter without turning a machine head. So I would rather the note be flat in the intonation side of things versus being sharp. So I've gone too far. I'm going to move that one back. There we go. All right, so we've had strings on it for a little bit. We've intonated it. We've got the string action all dialed in. And now, let's see if I can plug this in. I'm going to turn my amp on. Although I am going to check the neck relief one more time to see if the neck relief has changed in the few minutes I've been adjusting on the guitar. It looks perfect. It's a little bit shallow, but I'm okay with that. And this guy that owns this guitar really enjoys low string action. But he's not like a shredder dude. So let's see how this thing sounds. I'm going to turn on the old amplifier and we'll listen to her. What do you say? Camera guy's doing all right today. He doesn't seem too drunk. Feels pretty nice. Keep in mind, I just put brand new strings on this thing, and I'm sitting here playing it and bending notes and shit on it, and remarkable. The guitar stays in tune.
Yeah.
How does that happen? How's everybody? Hugh, Zach, yo, brother. Nice. Nylons. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Well, let's see. Play a few chords. And let's see. What chord do you like, Stu? I got to sit here and play guitar in front of one of the best guitar players anybody's ever known. Give me a chord.
Oh boy.
Putting Johnny on the spot.
How about D half diminished?
D half diminished. Perfect. I like that. Chord to go to. Let's see. Oh. this argument for years. Everybody says, even Rick Beato says that the 7th chord of the diatonic major scale is a diminished chord. And I've proven this time and time again.
No, it's a half diminished.
It's a half diminished chord.
Yeah.
The diminished chord has a note. Let's just pick E.
Mm-hmm.
The 7th chord of E major is E or D sharp diminished, right?
Right.
Well, is C?
That's the thing. So they're wrong. It's a half diminished.
It's wrong.
It's
And
technical
in academia, in the college, they still teach that it's a diminished chord. What do I have to do to teach, to show people that this is wrong? It's wrong. It's a half diminished chord.
Yeah, the problem with a regular diminished chord tends to make it seem more like you're kind of leaning towards a Mixolydian-ish kind of a sound, you know.
It gives you a minor sixth instead of a major sixth
Right.
in the chord, in the half diminished, the 7th chord of E being D sharp half diminished. That puts a B in that diminished D
This
chord.
has been an argument for years, and people make that mistake a lot. It's like they always want to go to the flat. They want to flat that one. No, that's not correct. It's based out of chords. If you went through all the chords on your neck, starting and went all the way around with all full chords, it would be a half diminished on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's melodically correct.
Versus still works.
Give it a lot of swing, but it definitely is incorrect.
It kind of gives you a dominant 7th kind of.
Yeah, that's 5/7.
Anyway, anybody care to argue that point? Anybody? Crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh no, that's basic music theory. It's funny because you know, as famous as Rick Beato is, you know, I joined his channel. He had like, I don't know, 30,000 subs, and I emailed him one time and asked him specifically that question, and it came up in a live stream, and he's like, no, it's diminished.
Yep,
So people make that mistake a lot. That was taught to me from day one when I learned the harmonized major scale. So I've always called it the 7th chord of the harmonized major scale is a half diminished chord.
Well, yeah, if you throw all the notes in a bucket and you pull them out to make the chords, it has to be those notes, and you cannot change the laws.
Yeah. In the key of E, C is not a note inside the E major scale.
That's correct.
So, but in a E or a D sharp diminished, there's a C note in there. So, I don't know. End of I'll be done with.
I did like the scale you were playing against. It made both chords that you were using have kind of a minor-esque feel to it. It felt like they were swinging minor, even though that you weren't really playing a minor.
Yeah, and I was using my pattern. I was playing over that chord, the D. I was playing E flat major, the major scale in E flat, and then because I knew that, I was using C minor, which is a relative minor, but I was also using C blues scale, which gave it that blues. This thing sounds really nice.
Yeah, it's got right kind of splat.
A little more. Just a little more. There we go. Says you can't rock playing a telly. staying in tune really good too. That's weird.
Yeah, that's.
How's that happen?
Oops.
Oh, Mexican strats suck, right? Everybody, Mexican Telecasters are not as good as American-made ones. I don't know. Who thinks that? Yeah.
Good guitar. Good guitar.
Yeah. Hugh, I feel the same way about a lot of channels. Yeah, I don't watch a lot of his stuff anymore either. That was back before he got real commercialized and having to sell everything all the time. Yeah. Yeah, Hugh, I missed your interview. I haven't had time to look at it. I think I had a tube poked up my butt while you were being interviewed, to be honest with you. I've maybe too much information. Yeah. Mitch, hello, welcome, brother. 14236 and half diminished. Yeah. Nice. All right, you guys. Yeah, cool. Yeah, this the Mexican Tele, and it plays very nicely, and it's staying in tune after just putting strings on it not more than a half an hour ago. So, I think it's important. One of the most important parts of changing strings is stretching them properly. Then you don't have to sit there and play it for hours, and it goes out of tune and ever so slightly. So, yeah, cool, Mitch. I don't own. I'm trying to think. I don't own any Mexican-made instruments. I have one. I think that was made in a guitar that was made in Indonesia. That was a gift. Have a couple that were made in Japan. I have 3 or 4 or 5, 6 that are made in America. Guitars, acoustics, and electrics. Definitely I have 3 guitars that were made in Japan. I don't have any Mexican made. Yeah, not even my Taylor was made in Mexico. It's American.
Japanese.
Japanese, yeah. And I just got a brand new Japanese built Ibanez that I'm just really I'm learning to fall in love with it. I'll be playing it tonight when I get home. So it's a fantastic guitar, a very thoughtful, wonderful gift. Holy shit. So, well, thanks y'all for hanging with me. I'm gonna get back to work. I got a bunch more shit to do. So that took less than an hour in total to get the guitar going from 9s to 10s, and it's what I do for folks. And I don't spin my wheels or waste any time. Yeah. On Zach, never took guitar lessons. Oh yeah, cool. It was a guitar class in high school. Yeah, cool. Well, good for you. I'd love to hear you play sometime. Yeah. 2550Z Prestige. Oh. Yeah, see, I don't have a clue what model of Prestige that I just got. It's just, there's no numbers on it. I could probably, I don't want to do it yet because it doesn't need to, but I'm sure I could pull the neck off of it, and that would probably tell me. I don't know. Maybe I could run the serial number on it, and it'll tell me. You're very welcome, Mitch. Again, I hope if you learned something today, that you might say something about that. And if you did learn something, that's great. That's why I do these live streams, just for the educational purposes. Yeah. Hey, Kev, what's up? I just got a text from somebody named Kevin. Yep. Hugh, we oughta compare Ibanez guitars. See whose is bigger. That's fun. Hey, y'all have a great afternoon, a great evening. Thanks for being here. Peace.